What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the JuiceBox presented by LockCity. It's Munz and Wighty here today. We are hoping you're all having a great week. We have episode number 32, which will be an outlook into UFC 314, Volkanovski versus Lopes this Saturday. But before we get into it, just a reminder that you can join our premium tier Discord at wap.com/LockCity for only $5 a month. This gets you access to every cheat sheet every day across all active major sports, access to premium picks from all 9 of our pro cappers, and tons of sport-specific and stat-specific data points on a daily basis to help you become a better sports bettor. That's wap.com/LockCity. Get instant access for only 16 cents a day. Also, if you want some of the best odds in the industry, we highly suggest checking out thunderpick.io. Additionally, you can use our promo link, tinyurl.com/LCThunder, to get a 100% deposit bonus up to $600 on your first deposit. They accept majority of major cryptocurrencies, and now you can deposit using credit card or Visa debit. Okay, enough of that. Let's get it going here. As always, for these UFC episodes, as I said, I got my main man Wighty here. Wighty, my man, how's it going?
Going really good, man. I'm super excited to get into this card. Probably the most excited I've been, sorry, for a card so far in 2025. For those of you that aren't in our premium tier, I know that Munch just said it, but we are going to be absolutely firing off on this card here. So 16 cents a day. I guarantee you're going to make your money back on this card.
Oh yeah, definitely. We have the highly anticipated UFC event upon us this week. UFC 314, Volk and Diego Lopes. Lots of big fights. There's some good ones on the prelims as well that we talked about earlier in the day, you and I. But let's dive into this pretty stacked main card. It's pretty stacked. I'm actually pretty excited for this. The first fight on the main card, we got Nikita. How do you pronounce his last name? Krylov? Krylov?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah,
Yeah.
Krylov.
Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. All right. So Nikita comes into this one with a record of 39-0. He is 11-7 in the UFC, 3-2 in his last 5 fights, and is currently on a 3-fight win streak, with his most recent being a submission win against Ryan Spann. He has 28 wins by finish, 12 by KO, TKO, and 16 by submission. Dominic is coming into this one with a record of 14-4-0. He's 8-4 in the UFC. He is 2-3 in his last 5 fights, finds himself on a 2-fight win streak currently, with both being KO, TKO victories. His most recent win was against Anthony Lionheart Smith. He has 11 wins by finish, 9 by KO, TKO, and 2 by submission. Looking at the tail of the tape for this one, it's looking pretty even. Dominic, I saw, had a slight height advantage. Nikita had a very slight reach advantage. Dominic is about 2 years older. You guys know how I feel about Dominic. Arguably, he won that fight against John Jones, but something has never sat right with me about him.
Yeah, I this one I'm really 50-50 on. First fight on the main card and first one I feel like could definitely go either way. I think these guys are pretty evenly matched, and I've been trying my hardest to kind of avoid doing the MMA math here because Krylov's last fight was that triangle choke win over Ryan Spann like 2 years ago. And just 4 months prior to that, Spann knocked out Dominic Reyes. So like the obvious MMA math just tells me that Krylov should win this fight. And I think it's safe to say like maybe Reyes has his confidence back because he lost 4 in a row there. But now he's won 2 in a row. He's got 2 knockout victories over Dustin Jacoby and Anthony Smith. Krylov, on the other hand, he hasn't fought in 2 years. So I think what this is probably going to boil down to is like just the style of the fight. If Krylov has success grappling Reyes, I think Krylov can probably win. But I haven't seen Reyes really get handled like that since that John Jones fight that was pretty even, and some say Reyes won it. Um, but I don't know if Krylov's going to be able to do that to him, and I don't think that Krylov's going to be as sharp on the feet. He's been off for 2 years. He's obviously been sparring, but you're not getting hit as hard as you can get hit in sparring. So in an actual fight, I don't know if he's going to end up getting caught here. I don't know how rusty he's going to be. So to me, I'm giving the edge to Dominic Reyes, but like very, very slightly, like a 51-49. I could definitely see Krylov winning this fight.
One second. One second. I think is Nikita coming off a back surgery? I think he's coming
Um,
off. I think he's coming off a back surgery.
Is that why he's been out for so long?
I
Let's see.
think I'm looking it up right now. I'm not seeing anything, but I thought I saw something earlier today.
Uh, Reddit
He had
says
a
he had a shoulder surgery in
yeah.
July 2023,
So there
but
we go.
nothing
That's what it
since
is.
then.
So yeah, that's what it was. So that could be a reason that kept him out of the octagon for so long. Could have taken him a while to recover from that. But nah, I'm second guessing myself here. I had Nikita as the winner of
Yeah,
this one. The books have him heavily favored, but 2 years out, coming off a shoulder injury, I don't know if I should stick
it's
with
a
it
tough one.
or reconsider.
Like usually you would pick against that, but when the opponent's Dominic Reyes, it's like who do you pick?
I know, but the guy's
I don't
got
know.
28 finishes, 28,
Yeah,
12 by KO, 12 by or 16 by submission. Like that's pretty absurd. I'm gonna stick with Nikita on this one. I'll stick with my original pick. Yeah, I'm going with the fighter who shows he's able to finish his opponents more often than not. I'm sticking with Nikita. I think he's going to take this one from Dominic. He's coming in, 2 years now? 2 years out of the ring. He's going to come in with something to prove and make a statement. I'm sticking with Nikita.
alrighty. I'm gonna go Dominic. Knocked out Anthony Smith 3 months ago, just or Dustin Jacoby 9 months ago. I'm gonna stick with him. I don't
Okay.
know. We'll see how it goes.
Well, we'll see how it goes. He could get absolutely knocked out too. So, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, next up, it's Bryce Mitchell versus John Silva. A highly anticipated fight here. Bryce Mitchell claims he hasn't slept in how long because he believes Gene Silva possessed him with something or the what was it? Beautiful
Yeah,
women and
apparently,
demons.
yeah, apparently he's sleeping now, but yeah, he was getting haunted.
Oh man! All right, let's look at this one. Bryce Mitchell is coming into this one with a record of 17-3-0. He's 8-2 in the UFC, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. He is coming off a KO win against Kron Gracie after being
Yep.
sent to the shadow realm by Josh Emmett the fight before that. He has 10 wins by finish, 1 KO, TKO, and 9 submissions. Gene Silva comes into this one with a record of 15-2-0. He's 4-0 in the UFC, 5-0 in his last 5 fights, and he is actually on a 12-fight win streak. He hasn't experienced a loss since 2018, guys, 2018. He has 14 wins by finish, 12 by KO, TKO, and 2 by submission. Looking at the tail of the tape for this one, Bryce holds a height advantage and a slight reach advantage. He's 2 years older than Silva as well. Let's tell me how you're feeling about this one. Let's see. Let me hear it.
Honestly, the first like 3 fights on this card gave me almost an aneurysm trying to pick them. This one definitely the people's main event. I think this was probably my second hardest decision on the entire card, aside from the next fight, which we'll talk about. But I don't think Bryce Mitchell is a bad pick here whatsoever. I think he's an extremely consistent grappler. He definitely has methods to victory here if he can find success in keeping Gene Silva down. But we have to acknowledge that every second that passes while the fight's like up on the feet, I think it's an opportunity for Bryce Mitchell to essentially cease to exist. He has a really hard time, or had a really hard time against Dan Ige. He has a really hard time on stand up in general. Obviously, got slept by Josh Emmett. And when we're looking at Gene Silva, he's won 12 fights overall, like you said, over the course of 7 years. Um, 4 in the UFC, 1 on the Contender Series. His last 3 wins have been vicious knockouts over Charles Jourdain, Drew Dober, Milsic Bagdasarian. His confidence is just unrivaled, unmatched. I think Bryce Mitchell, like you said, or like you referenced, he's a head case. He might get too caught up in trying to fight the spiritual battle in his head here, and I could see him getting knocked out cold on the feet sometime. But I could also see him maybe getting a submission win here. He's able to compose himself, but ultimately, I'm going Gene Silva, and I'm going Gene Silva by knockout specifically.
Interesting. Very interesting take, my friend. Yeah, I might be called crazy for this one, especially with how Bryce has been moving lately. I
I could
almost
see him winning.
never, I almost never do this, and this card is probably the one where I do it most often. I'm going against the Brazilian here. I think Bryce Mitchell is going to come into this one and take out the overly excited Silva. Um, like I said, I almost never go against the Brazilians, but something just kind of feels weird in my gut about this one. Could be what I ate last night. I don't know, but I think Bryce Mitchell. I think he's going to show off some better striking, and if he is going to take it, either by decision or by submission, like I said, he's got 9 submission wins, so I'm sticking with him. I'm sticking with the guy, Bryce
Yeah,
Mitchell.
if he can get him down and hold him down, I mean, I would say he's the better grappler. Um, I don't know. I could see him winning. Gene Silva's just thick though. Like he's got thick traps. He's got a thick neck. He's probably hard to submit. I don't know. I think
I
the
know,
fight
but
price stands to
something about
get him
these
out.
fight nerds just irritates me, and so I'm
They've
hoping
never
Bryce Mitchell
lost.
can get it done. I think he's going to get it done. So let's see. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, see how it goes.
All right, next up we got Yair Rodriguez and Patricio Pitbull. Yair comes into this one with a record of 26-0, 1 no contest, 10-4 in the UFC. He's 2-3 in his last 5 fights, and he's coming off 2 straight losses. I think to Volkanovski and the most recent one to Brian Ortega, I believe. He has, though, 13 wins by finish, 8 by KO, TKO, and 5 by submission. He's looking for a win in this one to get him back into consideration for a title fight, but we'll see. We'll see what he can produce. Patricio Pitbull is coming into this one with a record of 36-7-0. He's making his UFC debut. He is 3-2 in his last 5 fights, and he has 24 wins by finish, 12 by KO, TKO, 12 by submission. The nerves are high, I believe, for him as he makes his debut into the UFC, and he's looking to get a win on his first fight against a fighter who seems to be on a decline. Looking at the tail of the tape, though, Yair holds the height and reach advantage by quite a significant amount, if my memory doesn't mistake me here.
Yep, he does.
Pitbull's finally making his exit from Bellator and his entrance into the UFC, but I don't think this is going to be an easy test for him. Despite Yair losing his last 2 fights, I don't think it's going to be an easy one for him.
Yeah, this one I'm honestly undecided. I think it's going to be a really interesting one. For as talented as Pitbull is, in full honesty, and as you probably know, I strictly watch UFC as far as MMA goes. I did go back and kind of do my due diligence in terms of watching some fight tape. So in his most recent fight, he took a talented 19-3 Jeremy Kennedy and destroyed him via knockout. His prior 2 fights, I think, are relatively justifiable losses. He lost to Chihiro Suzuki on 2 days' notice, and then went a 5-round decision with Sergio Pettis when Pitbull cut down in weight to challenge the bantamweight champion. So, Yair, on the other hand, he's lost 3 of his last 5, but those losses were Brian Ortega, Volk, and Max Holloway. So 3 of the best fighters ever in that division. He's got a crazy 5-inch reach advantage, 5-inch height advantage. You can't count that out. And I know Pitbull's going to be hungry here because, like you said, it's his UFC debut. It's his dream. It's something he's always wanted. But I think Yair's level of competition has been elite. He's used to fighting elite fighters in this division. He was the interim champion, and when push came to shove, he kind of folded a little bit. But at the end of the day, like I said, this one I'm 50-50 on. And even though Pitbull's one of the Bellator goats, I'm kind of leaning Yair on the money line. But we're gonna have to wait and see on this one.
Yeah, like I said, you raised some very good points. Like I said, it's not going to be an easy test for him. He is a Bellator GOAT, as you mentioned just now. He is very threatening as an all-around fighter. Like he's shown, the guy can finish his opponents. He can take it by points and win a decision. But Yair has also shown us the same. And like you said, he's been fighting elite fighters.
Yeah.
I'm riding with the 5-year younger Yair Rodriguez. He's going to show Patricio that there's levels to this shit. Especially with him holding a very significant reach and height advantage. I think it should go very well for him if he can keep it within his range, which he can and he most likely will.
You're right. He's winning this.
Yeah, like I said, I never go against the Brazilians. This is twice now on this card that I'm going against them. Riding with Yair, I believe he's a Mexican, so we're going with
Yeah.
Mexico for this one.
He's bigger, he's younger, he's arguably quicker. Pitbull's almost 30, 38, bro.
Yeah, I know.
That's old.
I know.
He's a goat, but that's old. That's
He's
tough.
a GOAT, but it makes you think like, why did he never come to the UFC until now? Why did he wait so long? Has he been
Yeah, they
trying
wouldn't
and
let him go,
failing?
but
Who knows?
yeah, they wouldn't let him. but he has lost 2 of his last 3. And yeah, one was on short notice, and yeah, one was, but he dropped down in weight. It's not like he went up in weight and got knocked out or something like that. He went down in weight and he lost the decision.
Yeah.
It's only 10 pounds,
Yeah.
45 to 35. He's only
Yeah.
5'6", so like you should be able to do. I'm going Yair, bro. Let's go
Yeah. I'm
Yair.
sticking with Yair, 100%. We're both on Yair.
Yep.
First one we're on together.
Yep.
There we go. There we go. All right. Next up, we have the co-main event. Pretty good one here. Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. Michael Chandler comes into this one with a record of 23-9-0. He's 2-4 in the UFC, 1-4 in his last 5 fights, coming in off 2 straight losses to Poirier and most recently to Charles Oliveira. He does, although, have 18 wins by finish, 11 by KO, TKO, and 7 by submission. Paddy Pimblett is coming into this one with a record of 22-3-0, being 6-0 in the UFC. He is 5-0 in his last 5 fights and is on a current 8-win fight streak. He has 16 wins by finish, 6 by KO, TKO, and 10 by submission. Looking at the tiller tape for this one, Paddy holds both the reach and height advantage while also being 8 years younger than Chandler. Chandler is tough, as we saw in his fights, especially his most recent fight against Charles. But I think this guy's window is closed. I think it has been closed. I think it is closed. And it's all because he wasted his time waiting for Conor McGregor.
Yep, I agree. I gotta go Paddy here all day, and not just because Chandler is super unlikable to me, but I think stylistically this fight is going to favor Paddy. Even in
Oh,
the
yeah.
striking, I think Paddy could have some success, obviously, in grappling. And Chandler's 39. He turns 39 in a month. He's lost 4 of his last 5. His style of fighting is super high pressure, and he's taken a lot of damage over his last 5 fights, whether he's gotten knocked out, choked out, or whether he's been in like a 25-minute war where he's just been battered and bruised the entire time. He's taken a lot of damage. He could easily be 0-5 in his last 5 fights if he didn't end up taking that fight back from Ferguson, because he got knocked down like a minute into that first round, and then he ended up landing that head kick and knocked him out. But he
Mm-hmm.
could easily be 0-5 in his last 5 and 39 years old. So he's one head kick away from that. Patty's won his last 5. He's essentially 9 years younger. He's got title ambitions. I think he's on his way up, and like you said, Chandler's just washed. I don't see him winning this.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I mean, instead of fighting while waiting for McGregor, seeing his flaws while he's in the fights and perfecting them, working on them. I'm not saying he hasn't been training, but there's a difference between training and training after you've fought, right? You have flaws that you might not have while
Yep.
training that you experience while you fight. So that's a big factor to me as well. Guy's definitely washed. Definitely washed. Got to stick with the guy who's been
Yeah.
more active. He's younger. He's better. Like you said, he's on his way for title contention. Paddy the baddie. Paddy the fucking baddie all day on this one.
100%. And Chandler,
Yeah.
even before his layoff, he had lost 3 of his last 4, so he's already down in the dumps. And then he's off for 2 years, and then he comes back and he loses another fight. So it's like, what kind of headspace are you in? You're almost 40. I think he's done.
100% he's done. He's finished. I don't know. I think Dana White just feels bad for him at this point because they wasted his time waiting for Connor, which would have been a great fight, like a fight that I think he would have won. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. He made his bed. He has to lie in it. He fucked up.
Yep. Nice little
Now he's just
opportunity
looking to
for
get paid.
Pat. Yeah. Patty gets a nice top 10 win. He gets to move up in the rankings and works out.
Yeah, 100%. I think right now we should probably highlight our JuiceBox locks. This one is going to be 2. The last 2 that we just agreed upon: Yair Rodriguez money line, Paddy Pimblett money line. They
Yep.
came in at what?
I think those are going to be the 2.
Plus what? What did it
Plus
come in at?
141 is what it comes
Plus.
out to here. It looks like on FanDuel at least. We got Yair at minus 205 and Patty at minus 160. Yeah, I think those are going to be the 2 on the card that we're the same on. But also I think 2 of my most confident picks overall. I think the other 3 here can kind of go wishy-washy, but yeah, these 2 I feel great on now for Yair and obviously Patty, my most confident pick on the card, I would say overall.
Yeah, definitely. I'd have to agree with you on that. Definitely our 2 most confident picks here. If you want to play it a little bit more risky, you can do Paddy Pimblett by submission, We were gonna do that originally, but after looking at the odds for taking them both money line, might as well play it safe. Take them both money line, and those are the juice box locks for UFC 314 Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. All right,
I do like
main
that.
event time. Main event time. Alexander Volkanovski and Diego Lopes. Volk is coming into this one with a record of 26-4-0. He's 13-4 in the UFC. He's unfortunately 2-3 in his last 5 fights. He's coming into this one off 2 straight losses to Islam and the most recent one to Ilya. He has 16 wins by finish, 13 by KO, TKO, and 3 by submission. Diego Lopes comes into this one with a record of 26-6-0, being 6-1 in the UFC. He's 5-0 in his last 5 fights, which puts him on a 5-fight win streak. The hype is high for this guy. He has 22 wins by finish, 10 by KO, TKO, and 12 by submission. Looking at the tail of the tape, Diego holds a slight height advantage, but a pretty significant reach advantage if my memory doesn't fail me. But I don't think this will cause too much of an issue for Volk, despite Diego being 6 years younger than him as well. This one is coming in pretty close as the odds are reflecting. I think it's what last time I looked, it was minus 125 for Volk and minus 102 for Diego, and I believe those are very accurately priced.
I would agree.
Yeah, it's still the same right now.
Yep.
Yeah, we get 2 stellar fighters here. Both highly skilled in striking. They can both hold their own on the ground. It can truly go either way. It can truly go either way. I'm going to go nice and simple here, straight to the point, sticking with my guy Volk. Alexander the Great, man, from the land down under.
I want to. This one hurts me. All in my heart, like I really want to go Volk here. I think Lopes is going to give him a hard time. I think the biggest question is obviously just going to be Volk's chin, how he looks at 37 years old after getting knocked out in his last 2. I don't know. My brain wants me to go Volk, but I don't know. Or rather, my heart wants me to go Volk. My brain wants me to go Lopes. I'm pretty split on this. I could see either of them winning a decision. I don't think necessarily there's going to be a knockout unless Volk's chin is just super fragile and just gives way at some point. I think Diego Lopes has the conditioning for 5 rounds. Obviously, Volk does. I think it's going to be really close. We could see like a 48-47 sort of decision, or even a split decision. But I don't know. I'm giving the edge to Diego Lopes here, unfortunately. I would not at all be upset if Volk won this. I would smile on the inside, but I'm going to go Diego Lopes.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. The brain wants to go Volk. The brain wants to go Lopes. The heart wants to go Volk. I'm sticking with my heart on this one, even if it means going against the Brazilian 3 times in 1 card. I think it surely might burn me somewhere, but if it doesn't, we're happy. We're very happy. I don't care if it burns me on the rest of the card. I just want to see Volk win it, man. I just want to see that guy stay on top.
I do want him to have his title.
Yeah. Oh,
he needs it. Order would be restored, but I don't know.
It could happen. It very well could happen.
Yeah, coin flip essentially. I don't know. I'm giving edge to Lopes.
Yeah, that's
so. What do you overall? You got Krylov, you got Bryce Mitchell, you got Yair, you got Patty, and you got Volk.
Yeah, I believe it comes in at close to plus 2,000 odds altogether on a parlay.
Damn, I like that.
I think I could be wrong. Hold on, I'm gonna add it all up right now live.
I do like that. I got Reyes, Gene Silva, Yair Rodriguez, Patty Pimblett, and Diego Lopes, and that comes out to plus 1561. I'm definitely running both though, because like I said, those 3 I feel like could go either way.
Oh yeah,
well, it
100%.
might be smartest to round robin. I don't know, maybe 3 of them.
That's not a bad idea either. Yeah, no, it comes in. I placed it earlier today. It doesn't seem like the odds have changed because the cash out is still the same. My 5 altogether coming in at plus 1956. So pretty good odds. Pretty good odds. Pretty risky though. Pretty risky at the same time. You got Bryce Mitchell plus 215 on there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, very hard to go 5-0 in this sport. Very hard, but
on a tape
possible.
especially. Super possible. We've done it lots of times.
We've done it many, many times. History might repeat itself. All right, guys, that's it from us today from the JuiceBox presented by LockCity. Just a reminder, you can join LockCity for $5 a month. That's 16 cents per day. As our man Trey says, you can't get much today in this economy for 16 cents a day, but you can get LockCity. Hope you're all having a great week, and good luck with your bets. See you in the Discord.